with Salt Strong, and today I just want to go through some tactics on how to catch redfish from the beach. So first up, you want to know how to identify structure. And if you haven't seen my How to Read a Beach video, I highly recommend it. I will drop the link for you below. But that's going to help you know what structure to look for and why it's so important. So when I first get to the beach, I'm going to be looking for that first trough and that first sandbar, because I know you can catch redfish really close to shore and in really shallow water. And those redfish are going to be cruising the beach in that trough, chasing bait fish, and up on that sandbar, foraging for crustaceans like shrimp and crab. And I want to have my bait in all of those spots to try to identify exactly where they're feeding. So I'm going to have a bait at the shore break. I'm going to have one in the trough, I'm going to have one right at the drop off of the sandbar, and I'm going to have one on top of the sandbar. And that will help me know exactly where they are feeding that day. And with that, I'm going to also have a variety of bait. I like to bring at least 2 to 3 different baits to try to see what they are feeding on that day. So I will bring fresh dead shrimp that I can cut into small chunks. I will also bring fresh blue crab that I can make crab knuckles out of. And on the double dropper rig that I like to put that chunk bait, you can either use floats or beads, or you don't have to use anything, but I will put small pieces of shrimp and crab knuckles on these double dropper rigs. It's a high-low rig, and it's going to help me identify exactly where those redfish are feeding in the water column. And when I put the crab knuckle on the hook, I also like to tip it with a piece of fish bite. And that's because sometimes crab knuckles have a tendency of sliding down the hook, and that piece of fish bite really helps the crab knuckle stay in place and off of the hook point. At the end of my double dropper, I'm always going to have a Sputnik sinker, because this sinker definitely helps keep your rig in place, especially when there's a little bit of a heavier current. This is a Sinker Guy Sputnik, and it's the best quality one that I have found so far, and it has really great breakaway. Now, we have started to see finger mullet show up in the surf, and that is really exciting because that means we are about in the mullet run. So if I have live mullet, I'm always going to use a fish finder rig. And this is a little bit of a lighter one, so this is going to be for your smaller finger mullet. This is a 1-ounce egg sinker and just a small 1/0 hook. And for the larger mullet, when we start getting fully into the mullet run and you catch those larger mullet, you're going to want to have a little bit of a heavier weight. So I would tie a snap swivel onto my fish finder rig, and then you could use a little bit of a heavier pyramid sinker to keep that bait in place. Now let's say you want to go to the beach and you want to target redfish with artificials. It's a ton of fun, but you have to know what to look for. You really want to try to find clear water and calm conditions, because you don't want a lot of turbulent water, because you're actually going to be sight casting these redfish. So you're going to see redfish cruising the beach in that first trough, and you're going to want to cast pretty parallel to the beach and then make sure that you're retrieving that lure right in front of them. My go-to artificial lures for redfish are going to be a gold or silver spoon and a slam shady paddle tail on a jig head. And both of those artificial lures work really great to elicit that strike from a redfish. Now, depending on what the conditions are as far as wind goes and where in the water column those redfish are feeding, that's going to help you determine how heavy of a spoon or how heavy of a jig head you need to use. Last tip, fish like to use waves to their advantage. So that means as an angler, you need to use waves to your advantage. So when you are retrieving that fish in to land it, make sure that you're using those incoming waves to your advantage and gain as much line as you can on those fish as those waves are coming in. I hope this was helpful for you. If you do have any other tips or tactics to specifically target redfish from the beach, I would love to hear about them. Definitely drop those in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. And if you're new to Salt Strong, just know that we're the best online fishing club in America, because we actually guarantee you'll save time and money and catch a ton of fish. We do this by providing you with our premium education, a private online insider community, and huge discounts on the very best tackle for saltwater anglers. To learn more, go to saltstrong.com, and we can't wait to see you in the insider family soon.